He looked at the king and said, "You know these for boys. It has been approved by the owner. The ghost book has fallen through the moon." The word just ended. The wind and lightning covered his eyes in terror. "It's impossible. Is there friction behind the hill?" One of the three kingdoms. The four demons heard this. "I'm a little excited to look at the worst. What the butler said earlier is true." "Of course," the most confident person said. "Even though his words are made up. But the moon does have a prayer. Even if he knows he doesn't care. So take him out. It's not a problem to give these people peace of mind." Received the affirmation of why. The four demons are even more sinless. In the blink of an eye, it turns into four streams of dark air towards the throngs of the emperors. See this scene. In the eyes of the queen, the second is not considered. Hurry up. People, be careful. It's too late. The dark air is like a spike. He rushed into the palace of the emperor. In the blink of an eye, he brought a god to worship. Wheezing for an hour, thrown into the air. Under the blazing sun. Because Funkia's bow is surrounded by black air. It may not be possible to escape. Finally moaning for an hour. Torn to shreds of flesh. Fresh blood flowing down the leech's horrified others. My heart is in constant panic. This is a master of magic. And in the blink of an eye was beaten to pieces. This method is really cruel. His face stopped a little, and he kept screaming. Pay close attention. The combination of these four is not easy to play. Don't let them catch it. Inside the black air, demon killer horrid monster. Towards Hong Fu Feng taunting. Ha ha, old man. You don't want to denounce us. We are no longer afraid of you denouncing us. You have the courage to escape from the hands of four ghosts. Let's run and denounce. Hong Fu lightning's suddenly stagnant frown. Gently bite your lips carefully to protect Hong Fu natural resources. You two are impermanent. The natural government also does not stop worrying. Look at it all. Worry urgently. These four demons have a reputation for being mad. They're very clear. Moreover, the battle of these four guys is extremely evil. It can kill the master of magic. If so, they're going to hurt a lot of people. Right now, the prince ran to the front of the most powerful man. Hurry up with the right to speak. Track the butler. Today is the feast of the peanuts. It's not easy to fight blood. Let the two families not fight. Let the four elders come back. It's because of the situation. More and more color. Heaven and earth adventure, great sand benefit. Slowly out of hand. The most obvious is a fierce smile. His tears in his eyes. Who acted first? Is that he did not hesitate? Pointing straight towards Hong Fu lightning. The elder had enough at this time. It is most certainly here. He doesn't mind going to war either. Okay, if that's the case, we don't have AI pulling the turtle's neck away. The softest of eyes. Towards the elders. Laugh, elders. Have fun. Just finished. His left hand suddenly became a dragon. Treacherous. The right hand is pink. The festival does not wait. It's emitting gas, and the air is fluttering all over the body. Serum ants with sheep inflammation high 2. Hand in the same place. Fire hydro energy intersects to dissipate air that is terrorism. I often see this scene. Face is a little unsightly, cry no tears. How is this situation? He was going to teach this new family. I am now being taught by others. If it continues like this, these assassins are from the lost family. I don't know how many of their masters to kill. I looked at the people of the 3 families, according to the emperor, but they dare not say a word. He was cold for an hour. These cowards can't rely on him to finally do so. Even the prince saw this. I can't help but hurry. Scanning eyes, looking around. Bite my teeth and scold. This is at the feet of the angel. The dragon god of Emperor 7 is dead. Sao 1A, I come to the rescue, so what should he do? But the 4 horses Wei and Fuang Thursday white in the distance. Look at the strategy of the lost. They looked at each other, their faces suspended. It's like being lost deep enough. Before Kier, I thought there was only one butler to take my mind and my strength. At the batch GM Min painting reveals the horrifying. People think they only have one art. 2 people support. That's right now. Any one of the elders is lost. They're not terrorists. They don't even want to interfere. It's like waiting for 2 soldiers. Aggressive lip bite tray. Hongfu Natural Resources feel the situation is not right. Heart like a burning fire. Looking at the impermanent leader, he urged him. Think of a way. Impermanent leader rolls his eyes, thinking. Finally, he looked at the worst, laughing coldly. Is it really good for the butler to do that? Today in our hearts we should both understand. What's this all about? With your mind. We shouldn't do this kind of stupid thing. Let the fishermen benefit. That's not sure. Frown softly. The most unholy mouth reveals the devilish curve. He looked at the wall and said, Leader Xian, your father still has a difference with you and the sands of the wind. Not quite a working brain user. Sometimes going crazy is normal. You must have felt this, ha ha ha. When he heard this, he bit his teeth in anger. He knows he can actually do it. The kind of person who's not afraid. Going crazy is even more terrifying. Because everything in the world, for him there's no constraint. Others don't know. What kind of crazy thing can he do? So, I can't get to the bottom of this guy anymore. Then look down at the impermanent anger. Look at the most obvious way to say that. How do you want to ignore it? Smirking at the devil. Most likely the evil intent is very simple. Sorry to accept 385 submission. The body cannot escape the shock together. Their emperors for 1,000 years led the 7 families. Don't talk about them not doing it wrong. I've never even apologized to a family. Now there's someone in front of them. Say this word. If they give in, where will the king's face be? Even if they don't give in, the best of the world is still the same, cold, right, sorry. At this moment a body came from behind. In my mouth I can't stop complaining. Sorry, your mother. It's almost impossible to fix. The old man ended with your evil ghost. Around his body at this moment, the light of the golden light. The police filled Lao to the most shore side, screaming loudly. The emperor decided to die. Hong Fu thunder horrified scream. Don't go out alone. Unfortunately, it's late. They quickly rushed towards the worst. But he didn't notice. It's a cold snap. 2 sheep inflammation of the sea with the serum understanding. Go out. Together to beat Ra to death on the other side. Just for a moment, intersecting fire-ice fuses into terrorist energy. Turned into a dazzling white light covering the Kier. Straight shot up into the sky. A thunderous sound that echoed. The whole sky seemed to shake. That the god of shining Kier. I didn't even cry for an hour. His eyes turned to dust. A little trace doesn't stay. Watching a person in the cooler melt into a cloud of smoke. The Hong Fu Feng people rolled their eyes in terror. Is pure. And yet, the homeless have such terrifying martial arts. Elders of Peanut Raw Sao. Everyone's turned into a monster. God's glory is in your eyes. He grinned for an hour. Arrogantly said, Master, now you understand. This is why we get lost. Keep your eyes on the surest side. Maybe stronger martial arts artillery than the Emperor 7th. If that's true, the power of these people, it has to be reevaluated. I'm afraid the Emperor is very difficult for them to win. Think about it, he is. Suddenly, he turned his head to look at Hong Fu Ian. I want him to submit. Hong Fu Natural Resources take a deep breath. 2 grips tightly to the right. I thought for a moment and suddenly shouted. Everybody listened to orders. His word just came out. The king's men bowed their heads. Embracing authority towards the most certain unsatisfied. Shout out in unison. The previous butler we desecrated first. Sins and expects a lot. See this situation. Everyone is watching out for fear. You're talking. King of the 7 kingdoms. Is to submit together to cowardice before a new family? This is the founding of the nation. It hasn't happened in 1,000 years. Whether to treat Emperor 7. The Emperor was also very cool. Have you ever had such a melancholy? No matter everyone's reactions. The most satisfied nod. They say it can be taught. From now on, the 8-year-old is no longer the king. You 2 are lost from us. The voice stopped and he immediately snapped. Follow the tears of heaven back. Everybody around, everyone who sees this shows respect. King Mon, I've been so disgraced now. It really can't be 1,000 years of hard work. A bow of long dance. Look at the army. Horror speaks up. Department of Elders, that's our friend Sao. The army is happy to say yes. We sent them this time. For a long time, I have hope. Bao Feng fun out face agitated talk. The army laughed and nodded. That's right, this time it seems like the right bet. Same with Kier. Even the old sword servants laughed happily. This is their friend. The more powerful they are, the safer they can be. Another dimension. Jia San Mayong along the Duongsong Old. Standing on a tall building. Silently observe everything. I can't help but say to now. I can't believe it. This kid hides so many secrets in his hometown. Take it out now. It's a hidden treasure. Slowly frowning, the white-haired wig appeared to be suspended. The power of this boy. Why is it so fast? It's amazing. It makes me suddenly remember someone. You mean the eyelids couldn't help but shiver? The old man with his black hair flashed, and the taboo spoke. Undefeated good fellow, she's a Thai monster. Slightly nodding. He sighed with white hair. That is right. Except that boy. The old man had never met anyone in the sky. Maybe a gentle hand. To receive a blow from the Supreme Master. There is only the monster of that boy. It can be done. But now. Hey ha ha ha, it must be much scarier than those 3 pines. I can't wait for you two to talk. Fong Schools laughed to interrupt. Deep to said. In the end, he's just a brute. Just use a little bit of a meter. How can we catch him? He's been tied up in the royal palace for 300 years. Not because of a previous statement of the South Saint. He said it was still a baby. But this mortal. Again the real cunning. It is harder to deceive or take advantage of him. If there is more power of the neck 3 pine, then the universe hardly has AI as his opponent. He couldn't help but stare at each other. Not very clear. For a long time, he let out his white hair again and frowned. The Prime Minister. I wasn't the one who said everything here. All by the Emperor. They want to cause a dispute between the Emperor and his family. The 2 families watched a little fight. Maybe more pressure. Kill the 2 archers of the Emperor. It's not a hit. With the old man, see, candles are not impermanent. Say not. The 2 houses actually started the war. Ha 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 ha, you guys. You only see the surface. I don't see the struggle between the 3 sides. The corners of the mouth are a little slimy. Jia-san Zhang Feng shook his head laughing. To the court is the boss emperor. But he doesn't care how the play is to be sung. Metrology. The ordinary or the impermanent is a man of incomparable wisdom. Why they may not understand this. So both sides don't want to go to war. Let the emperor pick up comfort. Stop for a moment, he said deeply. But at this point, surely the world knows the bottom of impermanence. But because of the last time, actions beyond the ordinary of the mortal, it makes it impermanent. I can't grasp the logic of the human dimension anymore. That's why he fell into the trap. Everywhere in this matter is sure to lead the nose. In fact, he just needs to force it a little. People are not willing to take risks with him. But the results are telling now. BA opposition. 7 borrowed here. Make it clear that the power of the peanut wins half a point. They borrowed it to oppress the emperor. To earn the fame of the House of Bao. He also won half a point. Only the emperor's oppression of the family failed. On the contrary, he lost all face. Hey ha ha ha. His word just ended. But he immediately blinked with horror. If you say so. Probably the most current. It's a combination of impermanent and ancient wisdom. Why is such a person so scary? We need to destroy this man before he grows. Accept 386 great orders. The Lord is such a dangerous man. Should be dealt with early. To avoid ruining the Prime Minister's affairs. May unconsciously frown, he unleashed black hair. Hurriedly towards the school of wind, Sand said, By the power of the child. This has not yet reached the paradox. We both have a way of dealing. Please, Prime Minister, send us to eliminate this boy. To eliminate the great danger in the heart. Slowly put on your hand. Master Jia-san laughed and shook his head in no hurry. He is not the enemy now. They even consider it our assistant. If we get rid of him now, someone will be happy. It is not good to make clothes for others. It's not the style of the school. The mind of this old man. The old man can see a little. 8 great millennial families' secret orders. So soon everything is ready, ha ha ha. Let's go, master, let's get started. As he said, he walked slowly down the hall. When he finished, he glanced at each other. Chased together. Beneath the royal gate. Looking at the haughty back of the white-haired man. I didn't look at her from the beginning to the end. Vin Nin was angry. What spirit? Not a butler of a secular family, sao? The prince went up to her and reproached her. Perpetual Nin, he's not a butler who gets lost in his hands. It's really the same as the emperor bought it. Then I met the lost man. I'm not being rude. Vin Nin did not turn his head to another place. The 2 princes came to her side. He looked at the lost man. This family can't be ignored. Especially that big butler, I'm sure. It is right to associate. Hear this word. The prince could not refrain from warning. Don't forget the 7-year-old's order. You manage me. The 2 princes looked down. It was cold for an hour. The prince glanced at the man in front. To rise a little closer. Too quickly to hide. I finally turned to Vin Nin and almost forgot Vin Nin. Why did you run out here? Doggy hole. His face was suddenly red, and he bowed his head. The gas is unconsciously stagnant. The prince is so angry at you. Vu Van saw that he wanted to curse. Laugh at the reconciliation, ha ha ha. You are less angry. You are also a temporary playboy. In a moment, 9 doors open. Let it go, let's bring it back. Hear this word. Eternally happy to laugh. The 3 best CAs. You look like a pig's head. But the mind is much smarter than the pig. This word just came out. Vu Van Thong dyed his cold smile. Looking at the Vu Van, he said, I think it's better to take it to my father. Detention him for 1.5 years. Don't he be the most handsome? More handsome than that guy. Eternity in the blink of fear. Hurriedly towards the flattering Vu Van. Just set out. Everyone suddenly smiled and shook their heads. My eyes show up a little. Right now. Inside the door there's a piercing sound. Open the city. Follow the scream. All the gates open in the blink of an eye. Revealing the sights of the mystical royal city. 8 big families divided into 8 subjects slowly entered. 3 crown princes of Theo Vin Nin. Enter the large entrance in the center. Step inside the royal city. Most definitely scan your eyes and look around. Silently nodding in my heart. More than 1,000 guards have a defense. Told to accumulate 1,000 years. The world without AI comparable to Emperor 7. In the end, everyone went through the 8 golden water chiefs. About half an hour later, finally went into the grand hall. There was someone there early on. 2 of the 4 pillars of war. The moon's carpet was standing there. On the left side, there is the head of the 4 pillars. Minister of Defense. 2 people, one left and one right, stand next to you, looking down at the location of the lost. Look at it most surely. Soul Lesbo warrior takes a deep breath. Cool calm eyes. On the contrary, the wind is softly stroking the beard. Smiling, nodding. Your Majesty is unique. Just a moment later the sharp sound echoed again. A picture body in royal costume immediately appear in front of everyone. Down to the 8 great families. Officially about to start. I saw the emperor coming in. People of the families below immediately bow down to the ceremony. Consult your Majesty, the emperor said with a small grin. Millions of people came today. Surely everyone understands. It is my God's grace. In the empire, a new nation emerged, can take on great responsibility. I need you to come and see one. Empire for 1,000 years. They all rely on the 7 great families who support national security. New title, the 7 kingdoms and the 1,000 years of heaven. But 1,000 years ago, real 7 never dared to forget your duty. Find the power to bless the world. That's why there are hundreds of paintings in the world. There is a family that rises up and prospers the world of dance meditation. But this hasn't happened in 1,000 years. Fortunately, God loves. At the end of my life, you can send this to a new family. Building prosperity with 7 families was difficult. This is my lucky story. Lucky story of the society, lucky story of the encyclopedia. I am sure you heard this from the emperor. I can't help but laugh coldly. Despise the lips. He doesn't believe in himself and wants others to believe in him. It's just a surface word. No one sees it as real. No matter everyone's reactions. The emperor swept his eyes downwards, satisfied with a smile and a kind nod. As soon as he finished, a guard came in front of everyone, brought to the altar, under the command of the emperor, towards the precious heaven. High-pitched Tet holiday. Waiting for the Kier group to finish reading has passed 1 hour. The emperor sat down again, laughing and talking through heaven. In the middle of heaven is the angel. I am the owner of the lost house. Get a job in the room. Your Majesty, take a step forward. Crouching procession. My son lost his father at a young age. Resilient, brave. To lead the family on a path of revival. After that, the captain of the army. The more you win in the 100 families of men. He is the boy of heaven. The mirror of the world. I have now given you the title of the 8th house. Hundreds of cities became their territory. Hai Ji of Feng Du Bin King. The special capital established a kingdom. This word has just ended, and the scarier heads up. In his eyes filled with amazement shouted the king. The great families are also constantly amazed. I couldn't believe looking at the emperor. Only the best. Jia San school wind with impermanent receipt. Clear mind of the emperor. This emperor is really evil. Obviously, I want to build a family, the real enemy of the emperor. For the emperor, the strategy is to pull. King Bun was not easily provoked by the emperor. Formation of the opposite trigonometry. Most people don't care if the emperor wanted to use them as a spearhead. Even if it's in the book, it doesn't matter. Not more than 100 of them. It's a good resource to practice. Think about it, most probably silently laughing out loud. That's the fat that goes to the cat's mouth. Except 387 great orders. Thank you, Your Majesty. The dog wants to get down. The emperor nodded with satisfaction. And then I just looked at the ordinary divergence. The tent speaks out. Miss Lost. Often listening to the wind. It's a dazed, unconscious stool that stagnates for a moment. If you want to reward, it's okay to lose the representative. I didn't know she was called by name. The king's orders could not be resisted. Bring the suspect or move forward. He knelt down to worship His Majesty Ngo Hong. Long live, long live. The chief of the lost family is usually well-dressed. Resilient personality. When the family was in trouble, you can arrange for an accident to take care of your brother. Alone to support the family in distress. It's the mirror of the daughter of heaven. Today I will make you a woman. Princess of Vin N. I hope you can be a good sister. With my only daughter. Vin Nin protects our universe forever security. Can't help but be stunned. Is the award? He turned to look at the three princes. They also looked at her in amazement. This word of the emperor is to bring the usual pollination equal to the people of the royal family. I can't believe this either. Often afraid to cry out, "O king." Little girl climbing high. Is that the inevitable rejection? The emperor raised his eyebrows in anger. This is the holy thread. In the unconscious stagnation, it's the shit that usually takes the breath away. The girl climbed high. 2 billion saws glanced at each other. On my face in a cold sweat. This was the first time they were holy. Being scared is of course. They even let out a sigh at this moment. Maybe it's over this time. That's right now. There's another little sound coming. The great steward of the lost family. Up in front of the room. People couldn't help but be startled. This is why I gave a reward to the butler. Probably not very clear. But don't hesitate to step up. But he still stands straight. He didn't kneel down like the others. See your action. A sharp voice echoed loudly to meet the pedestal. Dare not to kneel. Most likely, look back. Just by the eunuch next to the emperor screaming. With a cold face and said, "You are new to courage. The emperor has not said anything. Only you dare to talk. Are you bigger than the king?" Eunuch startled. Hurry up and explain. No. Your Majesty. Step back, the emperor snapped. Then turned to the surest side of the world. Then it must be ordinary. Why don't you kneel? Perhaps the most indifferent person shrugged his shoulders. My feet are not good. Kneel not down. Surely, Your Majesty will not force a great butler of the family later. Building prosperity with Your Majesty. You listen to me. The most obvious is a cold smile. He just finished. They are a wise family that built the world together. If only for this little thing. Cause trouble for him. Then he is the one who insulted the ancestors. Thinking of this, He smiled. He wouldn't make him kneel. It is often lost. I am anxious to look at the human body. Or get on your knees. Even if Sao is a genius. I didn't even wait for her to finish. The emperor above spoke up. No, tiger is probably a great lost butler. Immortal name is very good. Room day promotion. The great butler of the house. Stronger than a man of unmatched talent. In time the family in distress did not abandon. Dedicated to helping. That's the imperial genius. This is especially true of the lost family. The title of the world's first great steward. Minister of Civil Rights. Foreign Article 3 troops. Where to go as I come? This word just ended. Everyone fell into silence. The emperor wanted to be sure. Power personality under one person. Over 10,000 people. Not so much. It will become everyone's target. The lone warrior is also worried. Look at the emperor. Fascinating, doesn't understand. This is your majesty who wants to take Jiang. Fear for others. On the contrary, it's the wind farm over there, smiling at me again. This old man seems to be sitting still. I want to quickly push my son. The noise doesn't stir the world. Ban robe death Kim. The old emperor waved his hands furiously. According to the scream, 2 eunuchs came out with wooden trays. On the side, there's a gold coin. The shirt is poetic. Put your coat on. I can only see that there's a Kim long head embroidered on it. Long trowel has half a fingernail without showing. In addition, there are 6 gold-plated letters on it. The first generation of Ra. He looked at the 6 golden letters on his shirt. Do not bite your teeth in anger. The title of the world as first steward should be him. He didn't obey. He didn't obey at all. They lost the school. How can he accept defeat? At the hands of a young boy. This guy couldn't swallow. Don't shiver in your eyes. The prince thought a little. Rush forward. He said, Father. This is not appropriate for ceremony. Please restore your holy destiny. According to the prince's words, the guards behind him immediately knelt down at the same time. I ask you to take back your holy name. May your majesty reclaim his holy destiny. This is the holy cross. I glanced at everyone a little coldly. The emperor dressed up. But the word Ra does not allow others to resist. The prince's face was immediately unsightly. The number of long trowel on the father's shirt. He's a symbol of status. Just missing half a pan can be turned into 5 pans Kim Long. God of death. You dress like that. It is absolutely not allowed to exist. It's even taboo. But now I give it to the worst. It is said that his position is now only the emperor. Over 7 families and princes. Even the prince is no match. He doesn't understand at all. What does his father want to do? Yu Min Cup here does not stop biting angry teeth. Now there must be this great power. Maybe he can be bigger than anyone else. Back to 2 hours. It is also considered to be 7. The emperor immediately spoke. The book is officially over. Get out of the royal city. Everybody get the order. Get down and get out. In the heart of the family, more respect threshold. But wait until the family is ready to leave. The emperor must have called back. Follow me. 388 Your Majesty. I can hear this word for sure.